The desert sun beat down mercilessly on the forward operating base in Afghanistan's Helmand province. Staff Sergeant Maria Rodriguez wiped the sweat from her brow as she watched another failed mission briefing unfold in the command tent. For the third time that week, the sniper team had returned empty-handed, unable to neutralize the high-value target that had been terrorizing local villages. Maria had been stationed at FOB Chapman for 8 months, serving as a communications specialist with the 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines. Every morning, she watched the sniper teams gear up with their precision rifles, ghillie suits, and determination etched on their faces. Every evening, she saw them return with frustration and disappointment weighing heavy on their shoulders. The target they were hunting went by the name the Ghost. He was an enemy sniper who had claimed the lives of 17 coalition forces and countless Afghan civilians. Intelligence reports indicated he operated from a network of caves and abandoned buildings in the mountainous terrain surrounding their base. What made him particularly dangerous was his intimate knowledge of the local geography and his ability to vanish without a trace after each attack. Captain James Morrison, the battalion's executive officer, had grown increasingly frustrated with their inability to locate and eliminate this threat. The pressure from higher command was mounting, and the safety of their operations was compromised as long as the Ghost remained active in the area. Maria had grown up in rural Texas, where hunting was a way of life. Her father, a Vietnam veteran, had taught her to shoot when she was just 8 years old. By the time she was 16, she could consistently hit targets at distances that impressed even the most experienced hunters in her hometown. Her grandfather's old hunting rifle had been her constant companion during her teenage years, and she had developed an almost supernatural ability to read wind patterns, calculate bullet drop, and maintain steady breathing under pressure. When she enlisted in the Marines at 19, Maria had initially expressed interest in becoming a sniper, but the military's policies at the time restricted women from serving in certain combat roles. Instead, she was assigned to communications, where she excelled in her duties but always felt that her true talents were being underutilized. During her deployment, Maria had formed close friendships with several members of the sniper team. Corporal Jake Martinez and Sergeant First Class David Chun had both shared their frustrations with her about their unsuccessful attempts to track down the Ghost. They described how the enemy sniper seemed to anticipate their movements, always staying one step ahead of their carefully planned operations. The breakthrough came during a routine patrol when Maria was accompanying the team as their radio operator. They had received intelligence about the Ghost's possible location in a valley approximately 2 kilometers from their position. As they established their observation post on a ridgeline, Maria noticed something that the others had missed. Through her binoculars, she observed a barely visible reflection coming from a position that intelligence had dismissed as unlikely. The angle of the sun and the specific way the light was bouncing off what appeared to be a scope lens caught her attention. Her years of hunting experience had taught her to notice such subtle details that could mean the difference between success and failure. "Sergeant Chun," she whispered, pointing toward the distant mountainside. Grid reference 41S PR 12345-67890. Look at that rocky outcrop about 30 degrees left of the main cave entrance. Chun adjusted his scope and studied the area for several minutes. Initially, he saw nothing unusual, but as he continued to observe, he began to notice the pattern that Maria had spotted. There was indeed something reflecting light from that position, and the more he studied it, the more convinced he became that they had finally located their target. The problem was the distance. The shot would need to cover nearly 1,200 meters across difficult terrain with unpredictable wind conditions. Sergeant Chun was an excellent marksman, but this particular shot was at the extreme edge of his capabilities. Corporal Martinez attempted the shot first, but his round fell short by nearly 50 meters. Chun's attempt was closer but still missed the mark by a considerable margin. As they prepared for a third attempt, Maria made a decision that would change the course of her military career. She had been studying the wind patterns for hours, noting how the air currents moved through the valley and how they affected the flight path of the previous shots. Her experience reading similar terrain back home in Texas had given her insights that she believed could make the difference. "Sir," Request permission to take the shot, Maria said quietly to Sergeant Chun. The request caught everyone by surprise. While Maria was known to be an excellent shot during their occasional recreational shooting sessions back at base, attempting a precision shot of this magnitude was entirely different from anything she had attempted before. Chun studied her face. The final evaluation took place during a complex multi-day exercise in the mountains of North Carolina. Maria found herself integrated with Alpha Team, one of the Marine Corps' most elite sniper units, for a simulated mission that would test every aspect of her training and natural abilities. The scenario involved tracking and eliminating multiple high-value targets while avoiding detection by opposing forces equipped with advanced surveillance technology. Master Gunnery Sergeant William Bear Davidson led Alpha Team. Davidson was a legend within the sniper community, with over 100 confirmed kills across multiple deployments and a reputation for developing some of the finest precision marksmen in the Corps. His initial reaction to having Maria assigned to his team had been one of professional skepticism, but he committed to evaluating her performance objectively. The exercise began before dawn with a 12-mile infiltration march through dense forest terrain. Maria carried the same equipment load as her male teammates, including a Barrett M107A1 rifle system, ammunition, communications gear, and survival equipment. The total weight exceeded 60 pounds, and the pace was deliberately challenging to test endurance and mental focus under physical stress. As the team moved through the darkness, Maria's hunting background again proved invaluable. Her ability to navigate silently through natural terrain and read environmental signs helped the team avoid several simulated enemy patrols that might have compromised their mission. Davidson noted her natural fieldcraft abilities with growing respect. The first target engagement came 18 hours into the exercise. Intelligence indicated an enemy commander would be meeting with subordinates in a mountain village approximately 800 meters from their concealed position. The shot required precise timing and coordination with supporting elements to ensure mission success without alerting other enemy forces in the area. Maria was designated as the primary shooter for this engagement. As she studied the target area through her scope, she noticed details that suggested the intelligence might be incomplete. The pattern of activity in the village indicated additional security measures that hadn't been identified in the briefing. Rather than simply taking the shot as originally planned, Maria communicated her observations to Davidson. Her analysis suggested waiting for a different opportunity that would reduce the risk of compromising their position while still achieving the mission objective. Davidson was impressed by her tactical thinking and decided to adjust the plan based on her recommendations. When the opportunity finally presented itself, Maria's shot was flawless. The simulated target was eliminated with precision that exceeded the exercise requirements, and the team was able to extract from their position without detection. The exercise controllers later confirmed that Maria's tactical adjustments had prevented what would have been a mission failure under the original plan. The second phase of the evaluation tested urban warfare capabilities. The team was tasked with eliminating targets in a simulated city environment where civilian populations created complex engagement parameters. These scenarios required split-second decision-making and absolute precision to avoid collateral damage. Maria's performance in urban environments revealed another dimension of her exceptional abilities. Her understanding of ballistics in confined spaces and her ability to calculate ricochet angles and penetration capabilities impressed even the most experienced urban warfare specialists. Her shots consistently met the precise requirements while maintaining the safety margins necessary for civilian protection. The psychological pressure of the urban scenarios was intense. The simulated presence of non-combatants created stress levels that had caused some experienced snipers to make critical errors. Maria maintained her composure throughout these challenging engagements, demonstrating the mental discipline required for real-world operations in populated areas. During the final night of the exercise, Alpha Team faced their most challenging scenario. Multiple high-value targets were located in a heavily defended compound, requiring simultaneous engagements from different positions to prevent enemy escape or retaliation. Maria was paired with Corporal James Murphy, a veteran sniper with extensive combat experience, for a coordinated dual sniper operation. The complexity of the engagement required precise timing and communication between the two shooters. Any deviation from the planned sequence could result in mission failure and simulated casualties among friendly forces. Maria and Murphy spent hours planning their synchronized shots, accounting for wind conditions, target movement patterns, and extraction procedures. When the moment came, both snipers executed their shots within milliseconds of each other. The precision and coordination demonstrated during this engagement exceeded the expectations of even the most optimistic evaluators. Davidson later described it as one of the finest examples of sniper teamwork he had witnessed in his career. The completion of the field exercise marked the end of Maria's formal evaluation period, but the impact of her performance had already begun to reverberate through the highest levels of military leadership. Preliminary reports indicated that she had not only met all requirements for sniper qualification but had exceeded performance standards in several critical areas. General Patterson personally reviewed the comprehensive evaluation results before making his recommendation to the Commandant of the Marine Corps. The evidence was overwhelming. Maria Rodriguez possessed the skills, temperament, and tactical understanding necessary for sniper operations at the highest level. The decision to officially designate Maria as a Marine Corps sniper required approval from the Secretary of Defense due to the policy implications. The recommendation traveled through multiple levels of review, with each examining not only Maria's individual qualifications, but also the broader implications for military personnel policies. The announcement came during a ceremony at Marine Corps Base Quantico, attended by senior military leadership and media representatives from around the world. Commandant General Robert Sterling personally presented Maria with her sniper designation, marking a historic moment in military history. Staff Sergeant Rodriguez has demonstrated that excellence in military service is determined by capability and dedication, not by gender, General Sterling stated during the ceremony. Her achievements open doors for all Marines to serve in roles where their talents can best contribute to our mission effectiveness. The media coverage was extensive, but Maria approached her new fame with the same focused professionalism she had demonstrated throughout her career. In interviews, she emphasized that her achievement was built upon the foundation of opportunities created by previous generations of women who had fought to expand roles in military service. Her first official deployment as a designated sniper came 6 months later, returning to Afghanistan with a specialized task force targeting high-value enemy personnel. The deployment would test her abilities in real combat conditions and validate the training and evaluation process that had led to her historic designation. The results exceeded all expectations. Maria completed multiple successful missions, eliminating targets that had been evading coalition forces for months. Her tactical innovations and exceptional marksmanship contributed significantly to the task force's success in disrupting enemy operations throughout their area of responsibility. More importantly, her performance opened the door for other women to pursue sniper training through official channels. Within 2 years of Maria's designation, the first female recruits entered the Marine Corps Scout Sniper School, beginning their journey toward joining the ranks of precision marksmen. The impact extended beyond the Marine Corps to all branches of the military. Maria's success provided a template for evaluating and utilizing exceptional talent regardless of traditional limitations. Her story became a case study in military academies and professional development programs worldwide. Years later, as Maria advanced through the ranks to become the senior sniper instructor at the Scout Sniper School, she reflected on the journey that had begun with a simple request to take a rifle shot in Afghanistan. Her legacy wasn't just about breaking barriers or making history. It was about proving that the pursuit of excellence knows no boundaries when talent meets opportunity. The young women who now train under her guidance represent the full realization of the potential that Maria had demonstrated years earlier. Each successful female sniper graduation validates her belief that military effectiveness should always be the ultimate measure of capability. Maria Rodriguez had asked for a rifle and made history, but her greatest achievement was creating a pathway for future generations to follow. The barriers she had broken would never be rebuilt, ensuring that military service could utilize the full spectrum of talent available in defense of their nation. Her story continues to inspire not just women in military service, but anyone facing seemingly insurmountable obstacles. The lesson she embodied was simple but profound. When exceptional ability meets unwavering determination, even the most established barriers can be overcome. The rifle she had requested in Afghanistan had become a symbol of possibilities realized and potential unleashed. Maria had proven that when the moment demands excellence, the question shouldn't be who is allowed to serve, but who is best qualified to succeed. Seeing the quiet confidence and determination in her eyes, he had witnessed her shooting ability firsthand and knew that she possessed natural talents that couldn't be taught in any sniper school. After a moment of consideration, he made the decision to give her the opportunity. Rodriguez, you understand that this is not a training exercise. If you miss, the ghost will likely relocate, and we may not get another chance like this for months. Maria nodded. The weeks following Maria's successful elimination of the ghost transformed her daily routine in ways she never anticipated. What had begun as a single moment of opportunity evolved into a comprehensive evaluation of her potential as a precision marksman. Colonel Patricia Hayes, the first female battalion commander in the regiment's history, took personal interest in Maria's case and initiated a series of tests to assess her capabilities. The Marine Corps found itself in an unprecedented situation. Maria's shot had not only been successful but had been executed under conditions that challenged even the most experienced snipers in their unit. The ballistics analysis revealed that her calculations had been nearly perfect, accounting for complex environmental factors that typically required extensive training and experience to master. Colonel Hayes faced significant resistance from traditional elements within the command structure. Many senior officers argued that Maria's success was simply luck, a fortunate accident that shouldn't be used to justify changing long-standing policies about women in combat roles. However, the colonel was determined to ensure that exceptional talent was recognized and utilized regardless of gender. The testing process began with standard marksmanship evaluations on the base's shooting ranges. Maria consistently outperformed not only the baseline requirements, but also exceeded the scores of many active snipers. Her natural ability to read environmental conditions and make rapid mental calculations impressed even her harshest critics. Gunnery Sergeant Robert Thompson, a 20-year veteran and the unit's senior sniper instructor, initially approached Maria's evaluation with skepticism. Thompson had trained hundreds of Marines in precision shooting techniques and believed that the specialized skills required for sniper operations couldn't be developed without years of dedicated training in military doctrine. However, as he observed Maria's performance over several weeks of intensive testing, Thompson began to recognize that she possessed natural abilities that exceeded anything he had encountered in his 2 decades of experience. Her understanding of ballistics wasn't derived from textbook knowledge, but from practical application developed through years of hunting in challenging terrain. The psychological evaluations proved equally impressive. Military psychologists found that Maria demonstrated exceptional mental discipline and emotional stability under pressure. The stress of taking a life in combat situations was something she had processed and accepted with remarkable maturity. During one particularly challenging test, Maria was required to maintain position for over 8 hours while waiting for a simulated target to appear. The exercise was designed to test patience, physical endurance, and mental focus. Many experienced snipers found this type of waiting extremely difficult, but Maria seemed to enter an almost meditative state that allowed her to remain alert and ready throughout the entire period. Her performance during night operations was equally outstanding. The combination of natural night vision and her ability to operate effectively with minimal visibility demonstrated skills that typically required months of specialized training to develop. Maria's hunting background had prepared her for these conditions in ways that formal military training often couldn't replicate. As word of Maria's abilities spread throughout the Marine Corps hierarchy, she began receiving attention from senior leadership at the Pentagon. The military was facing pressure from Congress and advocacy groups to expand opportunities for women in combat roles, and Maria's success provided a compelling case study for policy changes. The media attention was intense and often uncomfortable. Reporters from major news organizations sought interviews, wanting to tell the story of the first woman to potentially break the sniper barrier. Maria found herself thrust into a spotlight she never sought, becoming a symbol for gender equality in the military, whether she wanted that role or not. Lieutenant General Michael Patterson, the commanding general of Marine Corps Combat Development Command, personally reviewed Maria's case file and ordered additional assessments. The general was known for his conservative approach to military tradition, but was also recognized as someone who prioritized combat effectiveness above all other considerations. The advanced testing phase included live-fire exercises with multiple weapon systems, advanced camouflage and concealment techniques, and complex tactical scenarios that simulated real combat conditions. Maria was paired with experienced sniper teams and evaluated on her ability to integrate into their operations seamlessly. Sergeant First Class David Chun, who had been present during her historic shot in Afghanistan, became one of her strongest advocates within the sniper community. Chun had initially been skeptical about the possibility of rapid integration of personnel without traditional sniper school training, but Maria's consistent performance had convinced him that exceptional natural ability could sometimes transcend conventional training pathways. The physical demands of sniper operations presented unique challenges. The equipment load for precision marksman operations was substantial, often requiring personnel to carry over 50 pounds of gear across difficult terrain for extended periods. Maria's smaller stature initially raised concerns about her ability to meet these physical requirements. However, her endurance and strength training had prepared her better than expected. Her background included years of hiking and hunting in the rugged terrain of Central Texas, carrying equipment loads comparable to military standards. The physical fitness evaluations revealed that while her approach to load carrying was different from male counterparts, her efficiency and endurance were equally effective. The technical aspects of advanced marksmanship proved to be areas where Maria excelled beyond expectations. Her understanding of complex ballistic calculations, environmental factors, and equipment maintenance demonstrated a depth of knowledge that impressed even veteran instructors. Her ability to adapt to different rifle systems and ammunition types showed versatility that typically required years to develop. During urban warfare simulations, Maria's performance highlighted another dimension of her capabilities. The precision required for shots in populated areas, where collateral damage could have devastating consequences, demanded exceptional judgment and accuracy. Her hunting experience had taught her the importance of precise shot placement and understanding the consequences of every trigger pull. The evaluation process also included extensive background investigations and psychological profiling. The Marine Corps needed to ensure that anyone granted access to advanced sniper training and operations possessed not only the technical skills, but also the mental and emotional stability required for the responsibility. Maria's personal history revealed a pattern of discipline and responsibility that impressed investigators. Her family background, educational achievements, and community involvement painted a picture of someone who understood the gravity of the responsibilities she was seeking to undertake. The political implications of her case were not lost on senior leadership. The Marine Corps was under scrutiny regarding its policies on women in combat roles, and Maria's success provided an opportunity to demonstrate that the service was committed to utilizing all available talent effectively. However, the pressure also created additional challenges. Maria found herself representing not just her own capabilities, but also the potential of all women seeking expanded opportunities in military service. The weight of this responsibility was something she had to learn to manage while continuing to excel in her performance evaluations. The support from her family became crucial during this period of intense scrutiny and testing. Her father, the Vietnam veteran who had taught her to shoot, provided encouragement and perspective during the most challenging moments. His understanding of military culture and the significance of what Maria was attempting helped her navigate the complex political and social dynamics she faced. Her mother, a high school teacher who had always emphasized the importance of education and perseverance, helped Maria maintain perspective on the broader implications of her achievements. The family understood that Maria's success could create opportunities for future generations of women in military service. As the evaluation process neared its conclusion, the evidence of Maria's exceptional abilities had become overwhelming. The question was no longer whether she possessed the skills necessary for sniper operations, but whether the Marine Corps was prepared to make the policy changes necessary to utilize those skills officially. The final phase of testing included integration exercises with active sniper teams in realistic combat scenarios. These exercises would determine not only Maria's individual capabilities, but also her ability to function effectively as part of the specialized teams that conducted precision operations in combat zones. The results of these final evaluations would determine whether Maria Rodriguez would become the first officially recognized female Marine sniper, setting a precedent that would reshape military policy and create opportunities for countless women who would follow in her footsteps. I understand, Sergeant. I've been watching these wind patterns for the past 3 hours. I believe I can make this shot. Chun handed her his rifle, a Barrett M82, a 1.50 caliber sniper rifle that was specifically designed for long-range precision shooting. Maria had never fired this particular weapon before, but she was familiar with its basic operation from her training exercises. As she settled into position behind the rifle, Maria felt a calmness wash over her that she had experienced countless times while hunting with her father. She began her breathing exercises, slowly reducing her heart rate while studying the target area through the powerful scope. The distance to target was 1,187 meters according to the laser rangefinder. The wind was blowing from the southeast at approximately 8 miles per hour, but she had noticed that the air currents in the valley were more complex than a simple straight-line wind pattern. Her hunting experience had taught her to read the subtle movements of vegetation at different elevations to understand how the wind would affect her bullet's trajectory. Maria made her calculations mentally, adjusting for bullet drop, wind drift, and the slight upward angle of the shot. She had learned these principles not from military manuals, but from years of practical application in the Texas Hill Country, where missing a shot meant going home empty-handed. As she prepared to take the shot, Maria thought about all the coalition soldiers and innocent civilians who had lost their lives to the ghost's reign of terror. She thought about the families back home who were waiting for their loved ones to return safely. The weight of responsibility was enormous, but it also focused her mind with laser-like intensity. The moment felt suspended in time as Maria took her final breath and began her slow, steady trigger pull. The rifle's powerful recoil kicked against her shoulder, but she maintained her position to observe the bullet's impact through the scope. The 1,187-meter shot streaked across the valley in just over 2 seconds. Maria watched as her bullet found its mark with devastating precision, eliminating the threat that had plagued their operations for months. The silence that followed was broken by Corporal Martinez's amazed voice. "Holy shit, Rodriguez. You got him." Word of Maria's extraordinary shot spread quickly through the base and then throughout the Marine Corps. Within days, she was being interviewed by investigators who wanted to understand exactly how a communications specialist had accomplished what experienced snipers had been unable to achieve. The success of that mission marked the beginning of a series of events that would challenge existing military policies and ultimately lead to significant changes in how the armed forces utilized the talents of all their personnel, regardless of gender. Maria's demonstration of exceptional marksmanship ability under extreme pressure had proven that combat effectiveness should be determined by skill and capability rather than traditional assumptions about gender roles in warfare. As she cleaned the rifle that evening, Maria reflected on how a single moment had changed everything. She had no idea that her request for permission to take that shot would eventually lead to her becoming the first woman to officially serve as a Marine Corps sniper, paving the way for future generations of female warriors. The story of her historic shot would be retold countless times in military training facilities around the world, inspiring other women to pursue roles that had previously been considered off-limits. But, for Maria, the most important outcome was knowing that she had helped save lives and contributed to the safety of her fellow Marines. Her journey from a small-town Texas girl with a hunting rifle to a groundbreaking Marine sniper was just beginning. The challenges and opportunities that lay ahead would test her resolve and determination in ways she could never have imagined. The success in Afghanistan was only the first chapter of a story that would reshape military doctrine and prove that excellence in combat knows no gender boundaries. Maria Rodriguez had asked for a rifle and made history, but the real impact of her actions was yet to be fully realized.